in the morning.
Welcome back, TV fans, to our channel. Today is a beautiful, sunny day, perfect for immersing ourselves in the captivating dramas of Genoa. We have plenty to discuss regarding the recent power struggles, and frankly, we're incredibly excited to explore all these intricate storylines with you. We'll uncover the dramatic secrets Victor might face, the traps Matt sets, and how he might ally with Kane to turn the tables. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's dive straight into the heart of the mess between the Newman and Abbott families. You know, when we really sit back and think about Victor Newman, it just boggles the mind how he simply cannot let things go. I mean, we all know the mustache has a legendary need for absolute control, but his current obsession with ruining Kane Ashby is just reaching a whole new level of vindictiveness. It makes us feel a mix of awe and frustration. Really, Victor has decided to use Matt Clark as his ultimate weapon in this revenge plot, and, honestly, it is such a dangerous game. Matt is a man with a deeply dark, violent history, a man who has terrorized Victor's own family, especially Sharon and Nick. Yet, Victor is willing to overlook all of that trauma, all of that horrific past, just to use Matt as a pawn. It really makes you question Victor's moral compass. Or if he even has one left when his ego is bruised. He is so blinded by his hatred for Kane's involvement in the Newman Enterprises takeover that he is willing to invite a monster back into his inner circle. And then there is Matt Clark himself. It is actually a bit tragic when you look at it from a certain angle. We genuinely feel a pang of sympathy for him right now, which is crazy considering his past. Matt does not seem thrilled at all about doing Victor's dirty work. He has been struggling with his fractured memories, his amnesia, and this overwhelming desire to just start over, to be a better man. He wants a clean slate, a life free from the darkness that used to define him. But Victor Newman does not do clean slates. Victor holds the ultimate trump card, the threat of prison. Matt knows that he is trapped. He owes the Newman family a massive debt, not just for the legal leverage Victor holds, but perhaps a moral debt for the pain he caused Nick. He knows that if he does not cooperate, Victor will utterly destroy him and throw him in a dark cell to rot. So, Matt reluctantly agrees to this shady assignment. He has to befriend Kane Ashby. He has to infiltrate Kane's life, become a trusted ally, and gather critical intelligence for Victor. It is a heartbreaking position for someone trying to reform. Forced back into the mud by the very patriarch who claims to protect his family. We can just picture how this is going to play out, and it feels so incredibly awkward and tense. Matt is tasked with infiltrating Kane's world, which means he has to somehow naturally bump into him at the Genoa City Athletic Club, or Crimson Lights, or maybe even society. He has to strike up conversations, pretend to be a friendly ear, offer unsolicited business advice, all while secretly reporting back to the Newman Ranch. It is a classic espionage setup. But Matt has not exactly been the sharpest tool in the shed lately. His mind is still a bit of a mess, and his social skills are probably rusty. We can just imagine him trying too hard, laughing a little too loudly at Kane's jokes, asking questions that are just a bit too probing. It makes us cringe just thinking about it, but it also creates such delicious dramatic tension. Will Matt be able to pull off this charade? Or will his guilt and his genuine desire to be a good person bleed through his deceptive facade? But here is the thing about Kane Ashby. He is not a fool, not by a long shot. We have watched Kane survive so many corporate battles, so many personal scandals, and he has developed this incredibly sharp survival instinct. He just got appointed as the CEO of Chancellor Industries, a position that is currently hanging by a thread due to Billy Abbott's explosive revelations. Kane is hyper-vigilant right now. He knows he has targets on his back, so, when a guy like Matt Clark suddenly starts hanging around, offering friendship and business advice, Kane's internal alarm bells are going to be ringing so loudly. We feel like Kane is going to see right through Matt's clumsy attempts at camaraderie. Kane knows Victor's playbook. He knows Victor wants Chancellor back and wants to see him ruined. It won't take long for Kane to connect the dots and realize that Matt is nothing more than a spy sent by the mustache. And this is where the storyline gets really exciting for us. If Kane realizes he is being played, he isn't just going to run away or complain. He is going to fight back. We can totally see Kane enlisting some help to figure out exactly what Victor is plotting. Enter Holden Novak. Holden is currently trying to find his place in the Winters family, dealing with his own massive identity crisis after learning Neil Winters is his real father. But Holden is also deeply loyal to Lily Winters. Lily is incredibly protective of Chancellor Industries, and despite her shattered trust in Kane, she does not want to see Victor destroy the company she loves. We can envision a scenario where Lily, feeling a mix of lingering affection and corporate responsibility, asks Holden to quietly investigate Matt Clark. Holden has those sharp instincts, and he could easily tail Matt and cover his secret meetings with Victor and bring that undeniable proof back to Kane and Lily. It would be such a great way to integrate Holden into the high-stakes corporate espionage of Genoa City. But wait, there is another massive wild card in this scenario, and her name is Phyllis Summers. Oh, Phyllis. We just love how she always manages to insert herself into the most chaotic situations. Phyllis has her own incredibly complex history with Matt Clark. She recently held him hostage, tried to use him as leverage, and ultimately lost her entire empire to Victor's AI-generated blackmail. Phyllis hates Victor Newman with a passion that burns hotter than 1,000 suns. She is currently desperate, cornered, and looking for any possible way to strike back at the man who stole Summers' conglomerate from her. We strongly feel that Phyllis might be the one to figure out Victor's game with Matt. She knows how Victor operates, and she knows Matt's vulnerabilities. Imagine the scene. Phyllis, sitting in a dark corner of the GCC, nursing a drink, plotting her revenge. She spots Matt trying to cozy up to Kane. Her brilliant, devious mind starts working. She realizes Victor is using Matt to take down Kane. And what better way to ruin Victor's day than to sabotage his spy operation? We think Phyllis might actually approach Kane. Not because she particularly likes Kane, let's be honest. They have plenty of bad blood, but because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Phyllis could pull Kane aside and warn him. She could lay out Victor's entire plan, exposing Matt as a mole. By doing this, Phyllis not only saves Matt from Victor's toxic manipulation, perhaps out of some twisted sense of lingering guilt or connection to him, but she also hands Kane the exact weapon he needs to turn the tables on Victor. It would be a masterstroke of classic Phyllis Summers manipulation. And if Kane gets this warning, whether from Holden's investigation or Phyllis's tip-off, oh boy, the possibilities are just endless. Kane has the opportunity to pull off the ultimate double-cross. Instead of confronting Matt and kicking him out of Chancellor, Kane could pretend to be completely oblivious. He could welcome Matt with open arms, bring him into his inner circle, and start feeding him information. But not real information, fake information, misleading data. Carefully crafted lies designed to make Victor think Chancellor is vulnerable in specific areas where it is actually rock solid. We get chills just thinking about the psychological warfare here. Kane could orchestrate a brilliant campaign of disinformation, using Victor's own spy against him. We can picture Kane sitting in the CEO office at Chancellor, looking Matt right in the eye, and handing him a file full of fabricated financial projections or fake acquisition plans. Kane would play the part of the stressed, overwhelmed executive confiding in his new friend, and Matt. Poor, confused Matt, who is just trying to survive Victor's threats, would take that fall straight back to the Newman Ranch. He would hand it over to Victor, thinking he has finally secured his freedom, and Victor, in his infinite arrogance, would believe it. Victor is so convinced of his own superiority, so certain that he has Kane backed into a corner, that he would not even question the intel. He would look at those fake documents and see exactly what he wants to see: Kane's impending downfall. It is just so poetic, isn't it? Victor Newman, the grand chess master of Genoa City, being outplayed because his own ego blinds him to the possibility of a trap. Kane could intentionally leak information about a massive, risky deal that Chancellor is supposedly pursuing. He could make it look like Chancellor is overextended, vulnerable to a hostile takeover or a devastating market fluctuation. Victor, eager to deliver the killing blow, would mobilize his resources. He would move his capital, direct his executives, and launch an aggressive counterstrike based entirely on Kane's fabricated intel. Victor would be walking right into a financial ambush, orchestrated by the very man he thought he was destroying. And let us talk about the emotional toll this takes on Matt Clark, As we mentioned, Matt is not operating at full capacity right now. His amnesia, his trauma, his desperate desire to just be a normal guy, it makes him the perfect, unwitting pawn in Kane's counter-revenge. Matt might actually start to genuinely like Kane. He might feel a real sense of camaraderie as Kane pretends to trust him. When the trap finally springs, and Victor realizes he has been played, his wrath is going to fall squarely on Matt. Matt will realize that he was never a trusted ally to Kane, just a tool to be used and discarded, much like how Victor treats him. It is a tragic cycle of manipulation, and our hearts really ache for the psychological torment Matt is going to endure when the dust settles. He will be caught between a furious Victor Newman and a triumphant Kane Ashby, with nowhere left to run. We also have to wonder how Lily Winters will react to all of this. Lily is currently so devastated, so broken by Billy's public revelation about Kane's original deal with Victor. She has pulled away from Kane, her trust in him shattered into a million pieces. But if Kane manages to pull off this brilliant, defensive maneuver, if he successfully protects Chancellor Industries from Victor's predatory grasp and actually outsmarts the mustache, that has to count for something, right? We feel like Lily would have to be impressed. It might not instantly repair their romantic relationship that wound is incredibly deep, but it would certainly restore her professional respect for him. It would prove to Lily that Kane is willing to fight tooth and nail for her family's legacy, that he is not just a weak man who makes corrupt deals, but a fiercely intelligent leader who can protect Chancellor from its greatest enemies. This entire storyline is just a powder keg waiting to explode. The tension is palpable. You have Victor, sitting in his office, stroking his mustache, thinking he holds all the cards. You have Matt, sweating bullets, trying to navigate a world of corporate espionage he barely understands, terrified of going back to prison. You have Phyllis, lurking in the shadows, ready to throw a wrench into Victor's plans just for the sheer joy of watching him suffer. You have Holden, eager to prove his worth to his new family by uncovering the truth. And at the center of it all, you have Kane Ashby, a man with his back against the wall fighting for his career, his reputation, and the woman he loves. We honestly cannot wait to see how Kane turns the tables. The moment Victor realizes the intel is fake, the look on his face is going to be absolutely priceless. It is rare that Victor Newman gets truly bested, but his blinding hatred for Kane might just be his Achilles heel in this scenario. Kane has the opportunity to not only save himself but to strike a massive blow against the Newman Empire. By feeding that false information, Kane is taking control of the narrative. He is flipping the script on the ultimate manipulator. It is a dangerous game of cat and mouse, and the stakes have literally never been higher. As we wrap up our thoughts on this incredible storyline, we just have to say how much we appreciate the complex, layered writing here. It isn't just about business, it is about survival, redemption, and the lengths people will go to protect what is theirs. Whether Kane uses Holden's investigative skills, relies on a tip from the ever-devious Phyllis, or simply trusts his own sharp instincts, the outcome is going to be spectacular. Will Victor's trap snap shut on his own fingers? Will Kane emerge as the undisputed savior of Chancellor Industries? We will be watching every single episode, analyzing every glance and every whispered conversation, because in Genoa City, nothing is ever as it seems. And the next massive twist is always just around the corner.